I'm just thinking as I go about the issue of abortion, and I haven't thought about abortion before, so this is in real time pretty much. I think that, well, what I'm wondering is that does the father have any say in abortion? Is the father considered at all in the decision to have an abortion? I don't know because I haven't looked into it, but I suspect that the father has no rights at all in the issue, and abortion is considered the mother's privilege, and the father has no say in the matter. And this surprises me because, well, for a number of reasons, but because it seems as if the law regards the child as being owned by the mother, as being the property of the mother, and the mother is responsible for the child, and the father isn't. So the father is essentially less of a parent than the mother, and the father has less rights. So initially I'm thinking this is wrong, and it's clearly wrong. But obviously the issue is the mother bears the child and creates the child. So that is obviously relevant and needs to be considered. So the question basically is, does the mother have more rights than the father over the life of the child? Is the mother more of a parent than the father? Is the father a secondary parent and he is less important and has fewer rights? I'm wondering if that's how the law sees things, that the father is of less importance. It does seem that this is the case. I haven't looked into it, as I say, but I suspect that the father has no say in abortion whatsoever, and it's entirely in the woman's province to decide if she wants to have an abortion. So I'm wondering what to think of this, because it's obviously a terrible situation that the father is seen as being of lesser worth as a parent, less important, and has fewer rights. And this is the very life of a child that we're talking about. So I suppose the question is it simply the case that a father is less of a parent than the mother? The mother is more significant in the child's life. And if that's the case, it leads to issues in raising the child and actually parenting the child. And any kind of decision regarding the welfare of the child, it seems that the mother has the final say in the matter. And I'm wondering if when the child is born, does parenting become equal then? And it's only in gestation, only during pregnancy, that the mother is in control. So I'm wondering if that's the case, that a father only becomes a full parent on the birth of a child, and beforehand he's a secondary parent. He's not a parent at all, essentially, and he has no say in anything. So this is obviously a terrible situation for the father, and it's not right that it should be like this, but it is the way it is, I suppose. I'm wondering if the father should be awarded rights as regards the welfare of the child during pregnancy. I don't know the status at the moment, but I do suspect that the father has no say in the matter, and the mother has full control over the life of the child. So this is obviously awful. When a child is born, the father then assumes parenting status. So it seems to be the case that when a child is born, the father is regarded as equally important as the mother. I believe that's the case anyway. I'm fairly certain that when a child is born, the father has equal rights to the mother. I'm not aware of there being any difference in status when the baby is born. I think during pregnancy, the mother is seen as the parent who has authority, and the father is disregarded basically. He doesn't matter until the child is born. That seems to be the case, and I think this is wrong, and clearly wrong. But the fact is, life is the way it is, and pregnancy works the way it does. And this is how it is, maybe. Maybe it's as simple as that. I'm thinking that if a father wants to have a child and the mother then decides she doesn't want to have a child and wants to have an abortion, then obviously he'll be very aggrieved. But it does seem as if he has no say in the matter. And the mother is regarded as the owner of a child, basically. I'm not sure we should be seeing it that way. I think that while the mother produces the child, I don't believe that means she owns the child and she can do with the child as she pleases. And I don't believe a woman should be able to have an abortion because she decides that's what's best for her. I don't see the woman as being an owner of the child. She is the mother of a child, but that does not make her the owner who can kill the child if she chooses with impunity. I don't think it is right to see things that way. While the mother bears a child, I don't believe that she owns the child. She's responsible for a child, but cannot kill the child as she wishes if she chooses to do so. I think the child is independent. The child is obviously dependent on the mother during pregnancy, but that's not the same as being owned by the mother, as being the property of the mother. I think the child is independent and should be regarded as an independent entity that has a right to life, and the mother has a responsibility to continue the pregnancy and manufacture the child, basically. But that does not make her the owner of the child and allow her to kill the child if she so chooses. So this is obviously an extremely difficult situation, but I do think it is fairly straightforward in this sense that the mother does not own the child and does not have the right to terminate the child, to kill the child in an abortion. I think the child is independent from conception. When the baby exists, the baby is independent. The baby is obviously dependent on the mother for gestation, but that's not the same as being owned by the mother. So I think abortion should not be allowed and should not be happening, and the mother should not be seen as an owner of the child. And it is wrong to exclude the father from the issue. The father is, he seems, seen as a secondary parent and having less authority over the child's life. I think that is wrong. So I don't think abortion should be happening at all because it is killing a child, it is murder basically. if it does happen, I think the father has to be equally responsible for the welfare of the child. So if the father does not agree to have an abortion, then I don't think an abortion should happen. It's obviously a crazy issue because the mother produces the child, but morally, I think the father should have equal responsibility over the life of the child. I think we need to pay proper consideration to the role of the father. So basically, abortion should not be happening because it is murder, it is killing a child, and the child is an independent entity from conception. The mother does not own the child. And with an abortion, it seems society has decided that the mother owns the child and she can do with the child as she wishes. And it's only on the birth of the child that the child becomes independent and can't be killed at will. I think this is an awful situation. I think abortion is a terrible procedure to be performed. It should not be happening. And once the child exists, then the child exists and that's it. It seemed a bit arbitrary to say it's only when the child is born that it becomes an independent entity and it cannot be aborted, cannot be killed. I think an abortion is basically killing, is basically murder, and it is wrong to perform. So I don't know if there's any debate about abortion in general, but I think there should be, and abortion should not be happening. A mother needs to decide ahead of time if she wants to become pregnant. And once she becomes pregnant, the child is independent and has a right to life. And the mother does not own the child. And the mother should not be allowed to have an abortion.